Manager, Mr. Dion Stout, specially invited guests, media partners, good morning. I am Information Officer with the Premier's Office, Nadia James Harris, and I will be your chairperson for this morning's event. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this press conference, which is going to provide an update on the progress of the Greenland Stadium. This is an initiative that is a collaborative effort between the government of the Virgin Islands and the BVI Football Association to build a multi-purpose sports facility that will enhance sporting and recreational activities in the community. For this morning's program, we will have remarks by Honorable Penn and Mr. Bickerton. We will then open the floor for your questions. Please join me in welcoming to the lectern our Junior Minister for Trade, Investment Promotion and Consumer Affairs, Honorable Marlon.
Good morning, thank you, Ms. Harris. President Bickerton, Party Manager Dion Stout, BVI officials, you, the media, and other guests, pleasant good morning. This morning's press conference is to give an update on the activities that we've been undertaking with the BVI Football Association and the Premier's Office as relates to the Greenland Stadium. We started this project about a few years ago under auspices of improving sporting facilities around the territory as well as developing sports tourism within our community. We subsequently engaged into partnership with the BVIFA, where we have a public-private partnership where there's some responsibilities under the BVIFA as well as the government. The media, you members of the media, has been asking me lately some updates on this project, so I thought it was important for us to come together as a body and give a comprehensive update to ensure that the media and the public is updated in terms of where we are with the project and the next steps as it relates to the project. As you know, the project includes a 6-lane 40-meter track. It also includes a football pitch as well as a netball and volleyball court. It includes stands and facilities for the BVIFA offices, concession stands, and training facilities for athletes. It also includes a parking facility in a bypass road that improves the whole traffic situation within the community, which has already reaped some benefits. So far, we had recently had a cricket match there where we now have adequate parking for a lot of other sports activities that are taking place. So we are already seeing the benefits on this project. We know we had a slight hiccup recently. I know Mr. Bickerton will give you a comprehensive update from FIFA's point of view. From the government's point of view, we already met our obligations. We covered all of the guts around the facility. We installed the bypass road. We did our part as it relates to the parking facility. So now FIFA is kicking in as it relates to the pitch. The actual pitch, we now have a contractor on hand who has signed the contract, who's been on site, and we're scheduled to finish that aspect of the project by February, as well as sending the tenders out for the actual facility, the stands, and the building. I don't want to steal Mr. Bickerton's thunder. I know he'll give us more of an update on those areas. But the purpose of this press conference today is to you, the media, and the public to get an update and a comprehensive update on what the activities that are happening, the next steps as it relates to further activities, and so that we could all enjoy this project once it's completed. I want to reiterate the government's commitment to this project. It's something that from the inception that the Premier and the entire caucus supported. They've got the full support of caucus, and it continues to get the full support of caucus. Now we see this project as an important part of our tourism product, an important part of the development of our young people within our community and the wider territory. We know football is growing as one of the fastest growing sports in the territory. It's evident in the youth league that's being launched tomorrow. I think some 100 and some odd athletes participating. So it's an exciting time for football in the BVI, and we want to make sure that our people and the territory benefits fully from this project. We look forward to your questions, so I'll take my seat. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Penn. I now invite the President of the BVI Football Association, Mr. Bickerton, to come to the lectern and deliver his remarks.
Thank you, Mistress of Ceremonies, the Honorable Penn. Dion Stout, Project Manager, executive members of the BVI Football Association, guests, media. It is a pleasure for me to be here to bring you up to date with this partnership between the private sector and the public sector, a very important partnership, because we have suffered some delays through no fault of either of the partners. I would say that the partnership is between the British Virgin Islands Football Association and the government, but the actual funding for the project is being provided to the British Virgin Islands Football Association by FIFA, the world body of FIFA. And I think most people will know that FIFA has been through some transitional problems over the last 2 years, and unfortunately this project got caught up in that process, because as the member said, the project goes back to 2013-2014. So we actually broke ground on the filling of the site and the levelling and compacting of the site at the end of 2014, early 2015. We had a completion date of September the 30th, 2015, which I'm pleased to say our contractors met substantially. So by September the 30th, 2015, we completed stage 1 of the project on time. The government, as the junior minister says, had completed their part of the project by December 15, which was the covering of the gut, putting in the access road and certain of the retaining walls. So everything was going very smoothly. The pitch consultants had visited us in September 2015, and they completed their tenders to FIFA by early November. So we'd anticipated that it would take FIFA a couple of months to decide which contractor they were going to use, because that decision is made by FIFA, because the pitch is going to be an artificial surface, a surface that has to be to international standards so that we can play international football matches here. So by Christmas 2015, we were anticipating that we would hear back from FIFA on who they'd selected. In February 2015, there was an election for the new president of FIFA, because the previous president, Mr. Blatter, had been removed. And so by the end of February 2015, there was a new president in place. And basically, FIFA had put the tendering process on hold until he was appointed. So once he was appointed, then the process continued. So they actually awarded the contract in April of this year, April 2016. But then FIFA had other problems in that the acting general secretary was removed, and so the signatories who were supposed to sign off on the project had to be replaced. So again, we were caught up in a 3-month delay. But in the end of August 2016, the actual contract was signed between FIFA and the pitch contractor. And the pitch contractor was here quickly. In September, I think there was a news release on that from the BVIFA, and I've seen it published online and in the local media. And we were given, we've now been given a schedule from the pitch contractors as to the commencement of the installation of the pitch. So we're looking at that happening in October. We were given a date of the 17th of October, weather permitting. It's actually raining very, very heavily outside right now. But so, assuming we're not delayed by the weather, we can expect to see some action there after the 17th of October. And as the junior minister said, the expected completion date is late January, early February. And from the BDIFA's point of view, obviously we're very, very excited about that in any event, but on the 22nd of February, we have the finals of our schools league, the under-7s, the under-9s, the under-12s, under-14s and open. So we're really, really looking forward to being able to host those finals at the new facility. because we always have a tremendous turnout of children and parents for that, because our schools program encompasses all of the primary schools in the British Virgin Islands, including Jos Van Dyke and Anegada, and also it includes all of the secondary schools, including the private schools. So we have a very wide range of people that will be attending that event. So from our point of view, the BVIFA, obviously very good news for us in that we now have definitive dates, weather permitting, and we can actually start to plan our activities, because in the past we've been using recreational trust facilities, and that obviously means that they're not always available when we would like them to be available, and it means that we have to work with obviously the other sports and youth affairs in scheduling our events. The facility itself, as has already been said, includes a 6-lane, 400-meter track. One of the interesting things that came out of the visit of the engineer from the pitch contractors was a suggestion that rather than have a grass facility for the track, we might wish to look at a synthetic facility, so the pitch itself would be synthetic, and then there would be further synthetic grass which would go to the edge of the track. That's important because as of now it's to be used for three, maybe 4 sports. That's football, track and field, netball, and volleyball. If we were to expand the synthetic surface to the edge of the track, it also opens it up to the possibility of playing cricket and rugby on the field. From our point of view, we would obviously have to be able to convince FIFA from a football point of view that it would make sense to put in that synthetic surface, because their funding is to the BVI Football Association, and it's for obviously the development of their sport. So if we can find a good reason for that to happen, I think that will be very good, Honourable Penn, for sport in the BVI generally. So I'd like to thank you for your attention. We will be available to take questions, so thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open for your questions, but before we start, I just want to ask you to cooperate with us, indicate if you have a question, and as you do, kindly state your name and the organization you are representing. We have microphones that are going to be passed, so ask away. In the meantime, does anyone have while we sort out our technical difficulties, does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Malika McPherson, the Island newspaper. Mr. Bickerton, you did mention that the project got caught up in some of the FIFA issues. As the president or the chair of the BVI Football Association, did it concern the organization that perhaps some slight, maybe even cancellation to the extreme might occur as a result?
We never had any concerns about there being cancellation, because the project had been approved by FIFA formally in 2013-2014. The hold-ups related to the change of personnel within FIFA. FIFA's financial statements in 2015, I showed they were sitting on like 1.5 billion US dollars. So we weren't concerned about them being able to provide funding. So it was just unfortunate we got caught up in the change of personnel, and as a result of that, the project has been delayed.
Any more questions? Gentlemen, you seem to have provided a very comprehensive update. Well, we can.
I'll ask you. I'm not sure I'm going to. Charlie, that's loud. Charlie Jackson from ZBDI Radio. You mentioned the possibility of artificial surface replacing the provisional grass track. What would that mean in terms of a time process if it was granted by FIFA that you were able to go from grass to artificial? And I'd like to ask that of Andy Bickerton.
That's a good question. The pitch itself, as we've said, is due to be completed by late January, early February. The commitment under the Memorandum of Understanding with the government requires the BVIFA to surface the area that's to be used for the track. The idea that's come from the engineer is because that would mean then that dirt would get trodden onto the football field from the track, which is a negative and might affect the warranty period. We quite like the idea that if we could extend the synthetic surface to the edge of the track, that would solve that problem and also open it up to other associations. As with all things, it's funding. From the FA's point of view, if we were able to convince FIFA that there was a football reason for doing that, then under the new regime, there's project funds available every year of $750,000 to every football association, but they're capital projects. So we would have to be able to convince FIFA that there was a football reason for doing that. Obviously, if the other associations had access to funding from their world bodies, that would speed things up.
Thank you.
If I might say, I'm sure that Mr. Bickerton will be able to convince his body about that. So we have a world-class facility up in the eastern of our community.
Do we have any more questions on the floor? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for having joined us this morning, and I'm sure that you gained quite a bit of insight from President Bickerton and from the Junior Minister, and we do appreciate you having come out this morning to enjoy the rest of your day.